Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Reverend Mary Jean DeRusha, and it's my privilege to be the co-senior minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living in St. Louis, Missouri. Yay, St. Louis! So I'm glad that you're here today in the audience, and I'm glad that you're watching online. We have Facebook and YouTube and our own website, and we have fabulous music today, and we have a baby that's going to entertain us, maybe, and lots of good things today. So I'm glad that you're here. The Center for Spiritual Living is about transforming lives, inspiring people, having a vision that's greater than what they had when they walked in. Oh, thank you, Larry. And, hey, Larry, come on up and say hi.
Hi.
Okay, well, that was good. Larry was here last week without me because I was recovering from COVID. And I had a mild case, and yes, I got it.
COVID-19 or 20 or 21?
I think it was the Omicron. It was like I had a cold, and I was tired, and Larry took care of me. I kind of milked it maybe a couple days longer, so, you know, it was kind of nice being taken care of. So
I'll know next time.
Yeah, so thank you, Larry. I mean, after both vaccinations and
The booster.
the booster, and then I got it. So I have so many antibodies. I don't care if anybody is around me that has it. I'm not going to get it.
Maybe we can sell them.
Yeah. Anybody want to buy some of my antibodies? Anyway, I'm glad that you're here today. Today we're really doing some honoring with the ornaments that people had bought that we had on our honoring tree in the hallway. We are taking down decorations after service. If you can stay and begin taking them down, then Larry has made homemade vegetarian chili. Yay.
Is that why we don't have very many people today?
They're on their way in. It's when there's a cold day, it takes a while for people to come in. But if you want to stay, he's gonna be serving chili.
Got chili with onions and cheese.
And crackers.
And crackers.
Yeah. But
gluten-free.
But it won't be right after the ceremony because we're going to finish any of the honoring and we're going to start taking down this room and then we're going to feed you. Last time we actually fed people and then the people that were working never got any food. They came out and went, wait a minute, we've been decorating where's the food? We're like, gone.
I ate it.
So this time we're doing it a little bit different.
All right.
So.
Yeah, it's beautiful outside. It's a little windy and a little
Joni,
cold
are you doing announcements today? No.
Yeah.
Okay, then you and I are.
Oh, okay. So you've already done.
Isn't this the third week?
Yeah. Okay, so let's go.
Okay.
Christmas honoring ornaments, we've done. Vegetarian chili,
We've
just
done.
did. See, we're really good.
Okay, you can do this one.
All right, next Sunday, January 30th, we'll celebrate Reverend Mary Jean's 19th anniversary at CSL. That makes it about 39 years in the ministry overall? Oh, well, never mind. 42. Well, never mind. So please stay afterwards for appetizers, cake, and champagne. If you'd like to bring an appetizer to serve, let Marcia Walton know.
Yeah, I put Marcia in charge of it. She didn't know that. I know.
This is the way it works here. Spirit says you.
Yeah. Where's my little purse? Oh, there it is. Okay, keep talking, Larry. Go to the
Okay.
next one.
Reverend Larry's briefcase, forget that one.
Okay, no. Did you find it?
Yeah,
Where was it?
it was in the storage room.
Oh, good. Okay.
Live Your Power Expo. Somewhere, it's not here.
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday, the 29th, from 10 to 4 at Plaza Frontenac. It's sponsored by Body, Mind, Soul magazine.
Stacy Oliver.
And we'll have lots of vendors there. I see quite a few speakers. One of the most important speakers that's going to be there is Reverend Mary Jean.
Yay!
Hey.
So Larry's going to come and hear me. Okay?
You do this one.
Okay. You can sign up for the sound bath healing to be offered by Sherry Lease on Friday, February 11th from 7 to 8:30. Take advantage of this special Valentine price of only $30. It's a fabulous opportunity to rejuvenate, relax, refresh, and restore yourself. Bring a mat, pillow, and blanket. It'll be here in the sanctuary. It's an amazing experience. You can sign up in the Rising Thought bookstore and just walk in and we'll have your name on the list. Also, we have another workshop coming up in February. Saturday, February 26th from 1 to 4, there is going to be a workshop called Experience Your Angels, Guides, and Higher Self through Theta Healing by Mary Bracken. It's only $59. You can sign up in the bookstore. She's an amazing teacher, and Theta Healing is an amazing experience in itself. So I encourage you, if you want to know more about your guides or want to get in touch with them, to sign up for that workshop.
Sounds good.
Is there anybody?
Anybody here for the first time? No. Anybody here for the second time?
There's maybe the first timers are cold and they
Yeah.
stayed home today.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, they're waiting for the angels, guides, and the higher self to show up.
Okay, they'll be here next week. Next week, everybody bring them.
We have,
I did want to say something.
all right.
Okay,
So I know today is the honoring, we're doing the
Yes.
honoring tree later,
yeah.
taking down the ornaments. I wanted to honor someone who hasn't passed yet, but still contributes every week,
Do you have
even
an
though she
ornament?
can't come. Her mother's ornament is out there, but I tried to find it last week,
Okay.
and I couldn't find it. Okay, I'm speaking of Ann Gavin, who
Yeah.
has not passed and can no longer come at all. And she came to every single activity for I don't know how many years. I mean, you probably know,
She came the first day I came,
yes.
February
that's-
1st, 2003.
So that's how long she came to every single activity. And even though she's in a home and she can never, ever attend anything, she still donates, her funds every month to
Right.
CSL,
Yeah.
and will continue to do so.
Yep. Thank you for that. We're going to be doing, a couple other people doing an honoring in a few minutes. And,
I think she came to every class we did, too.
everything. Thank you
Yeah.
for
Thank you.
sharing that. So now we're going to do an opening prayer.
Is that a question mark?
Well, yeah, because this was down here. Okay.
You never know what you're going to get when you call me up here. Yeah. I'm honored and privileged to pray with you because it's the tool that we use here to change our minds and change our lives. I try to stick fairly kind of close to the spiritual mind treatment that we learn about in class, just in case you haven't taken a class, or maybe you did and it's been a long time. I just want to kind of keep it right down the middle with what a spiritual mind treatment is all about, because that is our tool for changing our minds. And if you've taken any of the classes, you might recall that changing our minds means changing our beliefs, and whatever is showing up in our lives is arising from what we believe, whether we are conscious of our beliefs or not. So, and before I get any farther, I also want to honor and recognize and celebrate the life of Thich Nhat Hanh, who passed yesterday at the age of 95. He was special. He was nominated by Martin Luther King Jr. for the Nobel Peace Prize. And I hadn't followed him real closely. I didn't realize he had been allowed back in Vietnam, but he was exiled from his homeland for at least 50 years, a long time. And yeah, that's where he got to die. So it's a life well lived. So let's pray. There is only God, and so that means that God is here present. It may be spirit, it may be universal intelligence, it may be whatever we wish to call it. But it is that one divine presence and power that is all, that gives rise to all that we see, experience, and far beyond that. And so I know that each of us right here is divine. We are all risen from that and continue to be created by that power, that divine presence. And knowing that somehow we keep wanting to change our lives for the better, and rather than just zero in on a specific change, I invite all of us here to simply release old beliefs that don't work anymore. If there's something that just isn't quite right in our lives, something that needs a little tuning or maybe just throwing out altogether, we can say, well, that's a belief I don't need anymore. And so why don't we just take this time right now to say, you know, there might be a belief or two tucked away there that I can let go right now. Because it's not magic. We're not praying to a distant God. We are simply aligning ourselves with that universal intelligence. And saying, let's get more in line with what that intelligence has in mind for us. And knowing that that intelligence is all-powerful, that it is greater than any belief we may hold, we can just get rid of those beliefs and step forward into that intelligence and say, here I am, all new, believing in the truth, knowing it is the truth, right now. And there is a law that says, yes, you're right. I got it handled. So all we got to do is that letting go, that stepping forward into the light. And having let go, I now finally let go of this word, knowing the law has it. It's taking care of it, seeing to it that what we have declared is done right now. And so I just step back, say it's so. Know it's handled. And in gratitude, say along with you, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Tom. Isn't that beautiful? Thank you. We are going to take a couple minutes and do a few of the honoring ornaments. We're going to do more of them after the celebration, but right now, if you have an honoring ornament in your hand, would you please come up and join me? Christine, did you get one? Yeah, they're on the table. Okay. Oh, and there's Pam. All right. So, tell me, who are you honoring on your ornament?
On my ornament, I wrote, remembering my baby sister, Tricia, always and forever. She was 11 and a half months younger than I am, so we were very close, and she passed away. It'll be 25 years this March, and
Wow.
I'll always remember her, of course.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Mine's my parents, Fred and Irene Sheriff, and they passed away in 2019. My mother died a day before her 96th birthday, and my dad passed away about 6 weeks after her. And he really had no health issues, but I think he was brokenhearted. They would have been married 75 years, and they both should have been on the History Channel. He was a lead navigator during World War II, and my mother was an ACAC girl, which means she shot the Germans down with the guns in England. And they met at an officer's party, and were married for 75 years. And then
Wow.
came back here and had a family.
Great. Thank you.
So anyway, I wanted to honor them.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. Wait, stay up here.
Well, I grabbed two of these, but I know there's more than that.
Yeah.
The first one is for my mom and my dad and my only sibling, my brother Doug, who all passed before I even started coming to CSL. So I think the first year that we did the honoring tree when I was here, this one is for all three of them. And then this one here is for my best friend growing up, Joanne, who lived, like 2 houses away from me. And she actually became part of the family. She was calling my mom her second mom because she had a real tough childhood. And she went on vacations with us. We did everything together. I was her maid of honor. She was mine. And then she passed when we were 33. So, and I was just talking to my granddaughter about her last night, how special it is to have a good friend. And then I know there's a new one out there for my cousin Mike, who passed about a year ago. And he was so much younger than the rest of the kids in the family that I didn't really know him well. So there were many, many years when we didn't, I had no idea where he was or anything. We didn't connect. And then one year I decided I needed to go out east and reconnect with an old good friend and Mike. And we just had the best time. We talked about family and on, stayed up to the middle of the night. He had pictures, and we became just really, really close. It was really hard to let him go.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. So I know ever since I started the honoring tree a few years ago, I've actually bought one every year, and one of them was for my niece Leslie, who passed away 2 years ago in her sleep at like 50 years old, and that was a real shock because I just talked to her on Monday, and she was supposed to call me on Tuesday, and she didn't. And then she always did what she said, and then on Wednesday we found out she had passed away. So that's why she didn't call. But she calls all the time now. I can hear her. And this is the one I did find out there, and it says, "You are special. I love you to pieces." This is December 13th, 2015, and it is honoring my 3 grandchildren, Tyler, Stephen, and Kayla. And Kayla's in the back of the room right now. Thank you for being my granddaughter and my grandchildren. And so I said, love, Gaga, and Papa. All right. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Yeah. If any of you have ornaments out there after service, before we take down the decorations, we can stand around and do an honoring if you have your ornament. And if you haven't bought one and you want one, we actually still have them out there. You can buy one in the bookstore. So now for our thought for the day.
Good morning. My name's Gwen. And our thought for the day is, instead of giving and taking love, how can we become love? By Daj.
Good morning. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow so pretty in the sky. They're also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? What they're really saying is, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll know much more than I could ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful world. Thank you.
That is one of my very favorite songs. I love it. Okay. So today my talk is entitled Question Everything. But I would like to begin with honoring also Thich Nhat Hanh, who was 95 years old and passed away on Saturday. I want to honor him with a poem, one of his poems. I'm doing a memorial this afternoon. Actually, it's an Irish wake, and I'm going to use this poem in it to honor Thich Nhat Hanh. This is from his book, No Death, No Fear. He's the author of over 100 books. Amazing, amazing man. You have to read something of his if you haven't. This body is not me. I am not caught in this body. I am life without boundaries. I have never been born, and I have never died. Over there, the wide ocean and the sky with many galaxies all manifest from the basis of consciousness. Since beginningless time, I have always been free. Birth and death are only a door through which we go in and out. Birth and death are only a game of hide and seek. So smile to me and take my hand and wave goodbye. Tomorrow we shall meet again, or even before. We shall always be meeting again at the true source, always meeting again on the mirrored path of life. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, there is no death, there's only the life. And so we begin questioning everything. I began as a young girl questioning a lot of things in the Catholic Church, and I can actually, when I wrote down this title, I actually could hear the nuns going, stop questioning everything. It's like, well, why? How am I going to know the answer? I don't think they knew the answers to some of my questions, and they didn't like it because I was in Catholic school up until I was a senior in high school. My senior year, the nuns at Nerrick's Hall said to about 7 of us that we couldn't go to Missouri University. We had to go to Webster College. Now, my dad had gone to Mizzou, and so I wanted to go to Mizzou. And I had only been here in St. Louis for a year. I was born here, then I moved away and came back. And I believed the nuns, so I checked myself out of Nerrick's Hall and drove over to Kirkwood High and checked myself in. And I came home and I said, Mom, I'm no longer at Nerrick's Hall. Save your money. I'm going to Kirkwood High. And nobody questioned me. Nobody said, why'd you do that? Thinking back, I'm like, I can't believe nobody said, why, Mary Jean? But a few years ago, my sister Luzette said, remember when you got kicked out of Nerick's Hall? That's why they didn't ask me. They had decided they knew the answer. And I'm kind of surprised looking back that I had the nerve to say, you're not going to tell me where I go to college. I will make up my own mind, and goodbye. Because I had gone to co-ed schools in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I had gone to Holy Redeemer grade school, and I had never been to an all-girls school. And I think they thought they had more control over us. And looking back, though, I'm kind of proud of myself. I even questioned them and took a step out, which was probably my step into a greater understanding of life. A step that said, no, everything that they taught you is not true. Because this is one of the things I always questioned. I had a grandmother who lived to be over 100 years old. And she was Baptist, and she was the kindest, most loving woman in the whole world. She was this little teeny thing, and they lived on a farm, and she would cook for all the farm hands, and we would go down and visit, and she cooked all these big meals, and she was so loving. She never raised her voice. She remembered all of our names. I mean, I come from 8 kids, and between us, we had like 25 my mom had 25 grandchildren, and my grandma had 8 kids, so there's a lot of people that would come down and have dinner. She remembered everybody's name. When I would come with Todd and Tammy, oh, how's Todd? How's he doing? Oh, Tammy, it's so good to see you. And I'm like, how do you remember all these names of these people? But she was just amazing. So in the Catholic Church, they said if you weren't Catholic, you would go to hell. Or maybe purgatory on your way to hell. And I knew that that could not be true, that my little grandmother would be going to hell because she was Baptist and not Catholic. And I think in a way, they could never answer that question for me. And I think in the way it began my questioning about spirituality, questioning about God, about how to live a life. I don't question other people as much as I question myself. What do I need to know today? What do I need to know today to continuously expand my life? What do I need to know today to love more deeply? One of the things that we teach here at the Center for Spiritual Living is a process called visioning. And visioning is a process where you get still and you literally connect with Spirit, the divine, and you ask questions like, what is for my highest and greatest good? Sometimes the Leadership Council will do it for the church, and we go, what's for the highest and greatest good of CSL? And we'll get answers. We'll get pictures. We'll get something comes. And then it's like, what do I need to let go of for that to happen? What do I need in my life to make it fuller? How can I make a greater impact on this planet? And then, is there anything getting in my way? What is it? And quite often, it's fear. Or quite often, it's, anything that gets in the way of being all that you are meant to be is an old belief, an old statement. Maybe the statement, I'm not good enough. Or something will come up, and then it's, what do I need to include more of in my life? Maybe include more love, include more joy, include more people. Just smiling at people can make a difference, even if they can't see you behind the mask. Being able to say, hey, it's good to see you. Being able to talk to people and let them know you hear them and see them. So Dr. Ernest Holmes, when he wrote the Science of Mind textbook, he was all about asking why. He was always asking questions of the universe. And how do I make this simple so people can live it? How can I take the teachings of the ages, the teachings of Jesus, the teachings of Buddha, and make it in a way that people can come in and change their life. How many of you have come in and learned these principles and have changed your life? Either raise your hand or say yes. Amen. Yeah, I do like the Baptist church. They go, amen, amen, hallelujah. Yeah, it was really interesting because my grandma was Baptist and then my father was Lutheran, because in their family, my grandma was Baptist and my grandfather was Lutheran. So the boys were Lutheran and the girls were Baptist. Isn't that cool? So then my mom, who was Catholic, married a Lutheran, because he was in the line of the boys. And yet she agreed to raise all of us Catholic, rather than go with the Lutheran here and Catholic there. And which was fine, because whatever grounding we get from a religion, anything that we get that we know there's a power greater than we are, when we know that there is something in this universe, we're not out here alone. You know, we're part of something grander. One of the things I remember from my very first class that I took in the 1970s in Science of Mind philosophy, there was this statement, and it's in the first 4 chapters of the textbook, and it says, "Get your bloated nothingness out of the way." Emerson said that, and Holmes was quoting Emerson. Get your bloated nothingness out of the way. I'm like, getting it out of the way of what? You know, and it's like the rest of it is getting it out of the way of the divine current, the divine expression that wants to live as you. And the bloated nothingness is when we think we're right and we have all the answers, and it has to be our answer. Or the bloated nothingness is when we set up walls around us to say they're not right and I'm right, or they're not okay and we're all okay. The bloated nothingness, how many of you recognize when you are coming from your bloated nothingness? Usually afterwards, yeah. Yeah, afterwards. Well, it's a good thing to question. Am I coming from my bloated nothingness? What is it that's upsetting me? Why am I bothered by that? Is it possible for me to change my mind? Can I do things in a new way? So Dr. Ernest Holmes in the textbook, he's amazing. He talks about that we create molds. How many of you ever had seen Jell-O molds or ice cube molds that you put, well, anyway, he says that what we do in life is that we create the mold. And the mold is created out of our beliefs and our ideas and what we think about, what we talk about. And that mold, the universal presence and law, takes that mold that we're always thinking about and it creates it for us. And we go, well, I didn't want that. If you didn't want that, don't create a mold for it. Be able to create what it is you do want, not what you don't want. I've heard people say before, you're more familiar with your problems than you are God, because you think about your problems more than you do God. So it's time, if that's part of what we were taught, it's time we can change it. We can change our mind and do it differently. So Dr. Ernest Holmes, he talks about all the principles in life. And he says, curiosity and knowledge and desire is part of what begins unfolding when we're on the spiritual path. Do you know that children, they say, question 70 to 100 times a day? And maybe that question is, why? What do you think? Is that true? Yeah. Why? 70 to 100 times a day. They want to know everything. How does that work? What are you doing? You know, how do you make that? What would happen if I broke that? You know, questioning everything. And adults only question like maybe 20 times. And most of those questions are, what should we eat? What should I wear? Where should we go? Somewhere that questioning, we let go of it, and yet the questioning is what allows us to connect with our guides, our archangels, our connection with spirit, the questioning. What do I need to know for my next step? What can I do to make this planet a better place? What can I do to honor Thich Nhat Hanh? You know, you can go on YouTube and listen to him, and it's so simple. He just says, take your attention on your breath. Just notice, breathe in and breathe out. And do that all day. Just notice. You're breathing in, you're breathing out. If you get upset or anxious, sit down, breathe in, and breathe out. You know, allow yourself to move into that space of spirit. I mean, everybody, well, most people have heard of Thich Nhat Hanh. So when he made his transition, people all over the world were honoring this teacher of mindfulness. And how do you be mindful is you notice your breath. And when you're being mindful, what happens is you have to let go of what doesn't work in your life. You can't hold the thought of this isn't working and breathing mindfulness at the same time. When you move into mindfulness, you're connecting with that spirit within. You're connecting with that place of power and majesty. How many of you have done that? If you haven't done mindfulness meditation, I urge you to try it. Just go on YouTube and start listening to Thich Nhat Hanh. You would never believe he was 95 years old. He's just very clear, very concise, and very filled with the presence of God. And Dr. Ernest Holmes was the same way. People that knew him, his nickname was Happy, because he had such joy in life. And he loved to barbecue. He loved to have people over, and he loved to talk and question everything. Dr. Ernest Holmes was a question everything. He had Paramahansa Yogananda over for a barbecue. He had the head of UCLA over for barbecues. He had, I think Einstein even came to his house one time. He was an amazing, come, let's question everything. Let's find out what works. And that's how he discovered what he calls spiritual mind treatment, because he discovered that it worked. And it was a methodology to change our mind, to realize the ever-presence of spirit. So I know that what shifted my life was when I learned spiritual mind treatment. Because up until then, I did not have a relationship. I had a belief that there was a God out there with a long beard, and he was probably pretty judgmental, because supposedly I was a sinner, and I didn't even know what I did wrong. So when I got out of that and realized, no, it's an energy. It's a vibration, it's movement, it's life itself, and I'm part of it. I can turn to that intelligence, and I can actually hear answers to my questions. Oh, sometimes it sounds like Larry from the other room, but sometimes it's that inner voice. But spirituality is simple. Changing your life is simple, but you have to be consistent. You can't just all of a sudden, when things aren't going right, go, oh, wait, God, I need a relationship. You have to be willing to create that relationship every single day. You have to be willing every single day to take some time and meditate. Do some mindfulness every single day. Not just when stuff happens you don't like. You have to create that devotion, because you're in a dance with spirit. It's alive with joy and movement. You know, it reminds me of this little 7-year-old girl that her teachers thought that something was wrong with her mentally. And they brought her family, her parents in, and they brought the psychologists in, and they brought all these people in trying to find out what's wrong with this little girl. Because when she was in class, she was moving all the time. She couldn't sit still. One of the psychologists was watching her move and said to her, do you hear music? She said, oh yeah, I hear music in my head. And he said, you are meant to be a dancer. Nothing is wrong with your mind. You are a dancer. And when the teachers allowed her to dance, she literally became one of the famous choreographers in this country. rather than being put back in school because they thought she was dumb. She wasn't. She just moved to an inner music. So all of us have ways of that we live with Spirit. All of us have the opportunities to live with Spirit. And one of the greatest things that we can do is not only just ask questions of ourselves, but begin loving other people. So I do want to, there's a couple things I want to tell you before I quit. One of them is a story about Toyota Motor Corporation. And Sakichi Toyoda, who is the founder of Toyota, had a process where he would bring together all of his management team and he would ask 5 whys. It was called the 5 why meeting. And they would sit around, why does that not work? Why does that work? And every problem they had in the company would come and they would sit and do the 5 whys so that they could get better. So they could become, their goal was to be the best automobile manufacturer in the world. And they started by doing the 5 questions. Why? 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 So if something isn't going on in your life or you're feeling upset, start questioning. Why am I feeling that way? Why is this happening? So there was one other thing I want to share with you that I thought was amazing because I've read this Science in My Textbook a lot. And when I was reading it the other night, I saw a sentence I had never seen before. And I woke up Larry. I said, Larry, I have never read this sentence before. And he's like, what is it? I'm like, this is so exciting. It's in the textbook. It's near the bottom of the 4th chapter. What is it, Mary Jean? I said, okay, I'll tell you. You don't pull my arm, I'll tell you. This is what Dr. Ernest Holmes said on page 60. The patient, meaning whoever has come to him for spiritual treatment, the patient should expect results and should be willing to give up anything and everything that would hinder the demonstration. I never heard that we had to be willing to give up anything and everything that would hinder the demonstration. It makes sense, but I had never read it. I never thought Dr. Ernest Holmes said it. I thought I made it up. And when I read that in there, it was like, of course, sometimes you pray and you don't get results. Why? Because you're still holding on to a resentment. You're still holding on to an old belief. You're still holding on to some habit that has kept you from having the demonstration that you want. And I'm like, yes, that's really the key. It's do your prayer work and let go of those things in your life that have held you back. Let go of the idea, I don't have time for prayer. Let go of the idea, I don't have time to meditate. And begin realizing that that's why we're here. We're here to meditate, to pray, to move forward, and to create a spiritual community in this world. So one of the prayers that Dr. Ernest Holmes said, which I absolutely love, because he says, life becomes to us what we believe. When we believe, it becomes to us that idea. Life becomes to us when we believe, it becomes that thing to us. So we have to believe this. Not just listen to me believe it, you have to believe it too. So here's one of his prayers. He said, if we have no time to pray, we're far busier than God intended us to be. So every day you can he has lots of prayers in the Science of Mind textbook. This is one of them. I am the center of divine mind, a point of God-conscious life, truth, and action. My affairs are divinely guided and guarded into right action, into correct results. Everything I do, say, or think is stimulated by truth. There is a perfect and continuous right action in my life and my affairs. God, the living Spirit Almighty, animates everything that I do, say, or think. I am conscious of the Spirit of truth in me right now. That took less than a minute. How many of you have less than a minute, once an hour, that you could do a prayer? You know, we all have a minute that we could take and do a prayer. And you know, when we begin shifting our consciousness and we live from love, not just giving love, but it's being love. One of my greatest guides is Alma, the hugging saint. And there's a story about Pooh and Piglet, and they went down the road to see Eeyore one day because Eeyore hadn't come out of his house in a while. And they knocked on the door and they said, Eeyore, what's going on? Why haven't you come to see us? He said, because I'm not very happy. My life hasn't been going well. And I didn't want to be around other people when I felt this way. And Pooh sat down and Piglet sat down and Eeyore said, what are you doing sitting here? I told you, I'm in a bad mood. Nobody wants to be around me. They sat there and they said, we're your friend. We don't care what kind of a mood you're in. We want to be with you and let you know we love you. And Eeyore started feeling better that very moment. That's kind of a story for all of us. How can we question, what can I do to make people feel better? Sometimes it's just sit with them. Just say, okay, I'm Pooh and I'm sitting with you. I'm Piglet and I'm sitting with you. Because Dr. Ernest Holmes says, what we believe we create in our life. And if we can believe we create it, we create it. So that is really the science of mind in a nutshell, what Dr. Ernest Holmes teaches. So my prayer for you is that this week you do even a greater time for prayer and meditation. Honor Thich Nhat Hanh this week, and honor Dr. Ernest Holmes. His birthday was January 21st. So we'll just say, happy birthday, Dr. Ernest Holmes. Thank you so much for being here. God bless you. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you, Richard. So now, would our prosperity receivers please come forward? Is there any Eeyores out there that need some special love? If you're at home and you need somebody to call you, let me know. Text me. So whatever is your gift today, I just first of all want to thank everybody who mails in checks, who goes online. There's a little phone number, and they give through that little phone number. You can go online to our website and give. I want to bless you, because I know during this time of the pandemic, people have been a little off balance, and yet we have people that aren't here yet on Sunday, but every single week they send a check in. I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you, everybody who comes on Sunday. It's so great to be around you and see you and be able to open our hearts and love you. So whatever is your gift today, just give it with love and know that it's blessed and it's returned to you multiplied, pressed down, and running over. And so it is. And now for our music.
Lost in the struggle of the struggle every day. Lost in the struggle of the struggle, can't get no break. Lost in the music, the dirty lost in the struggle of the struggle, not lost at all. Got to change my vibration. 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 Vibration, vibration. Right now. I was lost, but now I see that struggle I straight up did to me. I blinded myself with my own fears. Love's always the answer, and now it's ringing clear. I changed my vibration. I changed my vibration. I changed my vibration. I changed my vibration. Vibration. Everything I be, everything I do, everything I have it all for you. Everything I am, you are amazing. I am my vibration. I am my vibration. I am my vibration. I am my vibration. Vibration. Let your vibration raise. Let your vibration raise. Let your vibration raise. Let your vibration raise. Feel your vibration raise. Feel your vibration raise. Feel your vibration raise. Vibration, vibration. If you're lost in the struggle of the struggle every day, you got to face the music and make a change. It's your perception, so think and elevate. You won't be lost in the struggle ever again. Thank you.
Did you write that? That was beautiful. Thank you. So let's do our prayer work, and then and Kevin Miles, who's going to be moving in 10 days, he will be doing a song too for us. And if you'd like to lower the lights a little bit. Thank you, Sherry, for creating a sound healing right now in this cathedral of love. Let's just take a moment and take a deep breath. As we fill this room with love, with unconditional love of the divine, feel that love in your heart moving out from you. Feel it going out and enveloping everyone that's here. If there's anyone that you would like to put into prayer this morning, anybody that could use a spiritual uplift, you can call out their name right now. Tracy and David, Todd, Tammy, Bob. And now call your own name out, Mary Jean. For I know that every name that has been spoken is that power of spirit in action. And that right now, whatever is needed for a greater unfoldment, whatever is needed for greater health, for greater wealth, for greater love, is now done. Because that energy of spirit right now touches each person whose name's been mentioned. Touches us with love, with expansion. And as we know that our prayers are powerful, our prayers are even more powerful. Because they outpicture what it is we believe. So right now, in this space of believing, in this cathedral of love, let's just open our hearts and know that each one of us is love in action. And that this planet is changing because of our love as we reach out to all those that are here and all those that aren't here today and all those that are listening around the world. Let's just reach out and send love. Feel that love.
As you allow the presence, the awareness right now, that higher consciousness moves in. As we open up to that energy, that vibration of this higher consciousness, everything necessary takes care of itself. In that place, there's no needs, wants, desires, lack. There's only now. There's no resistance, and there's no wanting. There's only now. As Ernest Holmes says, that power and presence is within you. As you open up, it begins to express through you. And the world becomes that higher consciousness. All is found in the silence. Beyond the mind. Beyond the ego's desires. Beyond the ego's sense of lack. You are beyond all of that. We breathe into the silence and from the silence, and know the truth of who we are.
So each day as we get our bloated nothingness out of the way of that divine current of love and joy and peace and prosperity. I declare all good is unfolding in perfect divine order each and every moment. Giving thanks for the miracles and for the healings that are taking place right now, I declare my word to be so. And as we say together, and so it is. And now we have Kevin who's going to come forth and yay. Thank you, Sherry.
This is a song, it's called It Was Always You, and it was written mostly by my friend back in Minnesota about when I was 20, and I took it, he didn't have all the lyrics, and I wrote 12 of the lyrics and 12 lines of lyrics in this, but he had the main idea for it. It's all about here and now, so, but it's reverse, you know, now and here. All the time we were waiting for now, spent every day always wondering how this to find every moment's in doubt, to find it all right now. And everywhere we were searching for here, and all the time you were and everywhere we were searching for here, when all the time you were always so near. This place brings the shine of a tear to find it all right here. Love is all around us now that we know. Let it happen, we can let it grow and grow and grow. And all the time we were searching for you, when everywhere you were shining so true. Think that we never knew that it was always, that it was always, that it was always you.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin, are you taking guitar, or did you take guitar lessons from Jared?
Oh, yeah. I took a lot of lessons from Jared, and he is a great guitar teacher. He taught me a lot about being free on the guitar.
Oh, great.
Awesome.
Thank you. We have one more song by Jared and Anna.
There we go. Thanks. Good thinking. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. All right. There you go. Solution oriented. All right.
Sometimes it's like that. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. 'Twas blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieve. How sweet did that grace appear the moment I first believed. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. I was blind, but now I see. Let's do it one more time. You guys be the choir. Yeah, amazing. How sweet the sound that saved the wretch like me, like me. I was lost, but now I am found. 'Twas blind, now I see. 'Twas blind, but now I see. Thank you for joining. Thank you.
Yay! Thank you so much, and thank you for bringing your little boy, Jade. Isn't he the best little 2-year-old in the world? Thank you so much. And I also want to acknowledge Skip and Pam, who are leaving Saturday to go down to Mexico. And yeah, we'll miss you. And next Tuesday, Larry and I and Marcia are going to go and join them to make sure that they do, that you do good things in Mexico. And so I just want to invite all of you to show up. We have 6 great speakers. We have our new bulletin out in the lobby. If there's any way you see you can participate, anything that's lacking, or you go, wow, we need to do that, just step up and do it. Because mom and dad are leaving, and you're the kids, and you're in charge. God bless you all. I love you. We'll see you. Yeah. Oh, let's do our closing affirmation. I recognize